What is up, guys? It's your boy Good Master Flex here with another week of Expansion Pack Podcast News, where we got three showcases we're going to be recapping. I repeat, three. We're talking about the Bungie Showcase and what they have with Destiny, as well as the Xbox Showcase and the opening night live with Geoff Keighley.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expansion Pack Podcast, where we download this week's gaming news and we bring it straight to you. We're on episode 42, guys. I'm your host, as always, Danzel, aka Black Ice, joined by my amazing co-host, starting off with Manny, the Goop. How you doing, bro?
You're no stay gooping.
Stay
you know
gooping.
what I'm saying?
Always got to stay gooping. And then, of course, we got the man, the myth, the legend over here fixing his glasses, getting ready, looking like a goddamn champ. May 25th. What's going on?
Not yet. Maybe next year. Shout out my boys. Goddamn. I try to shout my boys out and it blurred. That says a lot about
that says a lot.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn. Anyways, May 25th. And
as he does, ladies and gentlemen. May 25th. All right. No same shit, different toilet today? No, we're not doing that.
I mean, it's always a same shit, different toilet. It's always. So it's a matter of, did it break up when it went down? You don't know.
Interesting.
Hey, you don't know.
Very interesting.
You don't know.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week we got a lot of news to talk about. I don't know if you're paying attention to this, you're probably listening to this episode a little bit later than you normally would because, we had to push things back a little bit just so that we could talk about all this Gamescom news, man. We got three pretty big events. Well, I'll say two pretty big events. We got the Bungie Showcase. Xbox had their little showcase, but I'm a little disappointed in them. And then my guy Geoff Keighley came out swinging today with the opening night live. He just had games on games on games on games on games. This dude, I think he might have announced roughly like 30 different games today. It's absolutely insane.
Yo, he's well connected.
He's well connected. He's well connected. He crushed it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just start getting into the topics, man. So we starting off with the Bungie Showcase here that happened on Tuesday afternoon. Chris, you're our resident Destiny guy, even though I'm also a Destiny lover as well. So I'm gonna let you take this one.
God damn. Let me tell y'all about Savathun. All right. So they showed us stuff about Witch Queen, which is the next expansion coming out next year in February. The next chapter of Destiny. It's been going on, I don't know, 7 years now.
7 years.
Shit, it's been a while. Anyways, if you've been playing the game, you know that they've been really kind of digging deep into the whole dark versus light saga thing. And this is going to be another crazy chapter to it because they gave the Hive light abilities, man. Yeah. The Hive had a Titan shield, bro. And he threw it like how they throw it. You know what I'm saying? And then 2 Guardians died. Because it bounces between. I said, this is going to make some of the hard content really fucking hard, bro. Because, oh, man. Imagine if they give one of the damn things a bubble. Like a real bubble.
I mean, well, technically they have a bubble, no?
But like a bubble that buffs them and does all that crazy shit that the ones that we get,
That's a little too much. They can't do that.
Damn, it's just wild, man. So, sorry, y'all. They giving the Hive powers. They got a new weapon archetype. A glaive. Speaking of weapons, we got crafting coming to Destiny. What else? Crossplay went live as of this week. So Goop, stop fucking around and get in there. What else we got? Shit. I'm trying to remember if I hit all the points.
I know we got some big changes to Trials, right?
Oh yeah, Trials, dude. Trials was a very singleton experience before where if you did not have a fire team or you did not have at least 2 homies that was ready, Goop, I'm looking at your ass again because we could have used your ass so many times, bro. Like, what up? Now you ain't got to depend on Goop no more because you can matchmake in Trials come in the future. And you also can maybe solo queue. They're thinking about throwing that in there too for just if you just want to go in there with a random just bunch of 5 other dudes, it might be something that you can do in the future. So, it was a little light compared to the other reveals from the last few years, but I like where the story's going, so I'm still willing to see what else they're gonna throw at us. I think part of the reason why it was a little lighter is because it's also not coming out in the fall like we're normally used to. Because yeah, it's just getting pushed all the way back to like late winter. So I'm optimistic and yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to craft some weapons, man. They're gonna let us make a glaive, man. You can poke somebody and it shoots like a shotgun. What? Come on, man.
I think that glaive thing looks so fucking sick. Oh
It's
man.
crazy. I don't know why it sounds like a shotgun because it's a little weird, but still, it shoots projectiles and it's like a third-person melee weapon. They haven't had one of those in the game yet. All the other melee weapons have been first person. No, I'm sorry.
You flip that, yeah, flip that.
Yeah.
But it's also got like it's got like a combo attached to it. Like there's like a 3-hit combo that you could do, and then you can like shoot them with the shotgun like energy thing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely pretty interesting. But you know, I initially when Chris, I think you and I were talking about it initially when you know I was looking back at this Bungie showcase, I was pretty underwhelmed with a lot of stuff that they showed around Witch Queen in particular. But you know, just to round out the announcements real quick though, they did also announce like they're gonna have a 30th anniversary like thing coming to Destiny.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to get what I think it was like 3 new missions within that 30th anniversary dungeon.
The fucking Gallahorn's coming back. If any of you guys have played D1, you know Galley. You know Galley. I'm not happy that it's coming back, in my personal opinion, but
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's the most legendary weapon in Destiny's history, period, bar none. Bar none. People would like stop friendships over this fucking gun, bro. I'm telling you. You'd be sitting there waiting for your weapons to drop at the end of a mission, and your homie gets it. I've seen the videos. And then they not friends no more because one of them got it and the other one didn't get it. It was you try to do a raid and you ain't got this weapon. You know what's happening? You're not doing no raid. You know what I'm saying? You're getting kicked out the fire team because you ain't got this gal. Dog. This weapon was serious, bro. Serious. Oh man. Yeah, Destiny's wild.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good stuff coming, and then also they talked about their final expansion. Well, not final, but they announced another expansion after Lightfall, which they're calling the Final Shape. I have a couple of theories as to what that might mean, and Chris, I know we talked about that as well. I think we might have to have another episode or another video specifically talking about this because there's a lot to talk about this week, and we can't really give this showcase the love that it deserves. And Manny, I know you're not a Destiny head, so some of this stuff's going over your head. But from what you saw, Manny, I do want to get your impressions. What do you think about what you've seen so far? Is it making you want to pick up the sticks? Pop open on your PC and start playing with us a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, that's just a hard thing. I feel like I'm just so behind, even though you guys say
always say that, bro.
But
it's not that difficult, bro.
It's not. I don't know why you say that every time.
It is interesting, like you said with the weapon crafting and everything. I remember me and Chris was talking about it yesterday about like, is the crafting going to be randomized or is it going to be like, okay, you just craft it and everybody's rocking around with the same thing because it's easily crafted. I remember in Division, the first one, the Vector used to be like the most OP weapon, but how you would get it is you would craft it and you would just have to get lucky to get the good roll pretty much in the crafting. So I mean, I hope it's not like that for balancing reasons, because if everybody can get the same weapon, what I'm saying, it's probably gonna be quiet for the Crucible. But
yeah,
that's true.
And crossplay, finally a thing. I heard they also added was it Battle Eye thing?
Battle Eye,
yeah, Battle Eye, anti-cheat. So finally, hopefully that'll, because I heard on PC they have cheaters, so hopefully that'll die that down a bit.
Big time cheaters.
So, but is it worse than Warzone? No, like stop.
Well, I don't think Warzone has any anti-cheat. So I mean,
yeah,
I think right now
I don't know. I don't know if I know if is it worse than Warzone?
I don't think it
can
be.
I don't know.
Well, Warzone has a bigger player base, right? So
yeah,
that's one thing. But also, I mean, at least now the fact that they have the anti-cheat, like I think it's kind of one of those things you can kind of rest easy about, because BattleEye is the same thing that Siege uses, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, in the Siege community, I mean, that's very competitive community, and they don't really complain so much about cheating. So I'm sure BattleEye is a pretty, on point system to use for sure. So, but yeah,
Yeah. So, hey man, I mean, if I decide to ever pick up the sticks again of Destiny, I'll try it. But there's a lot of games. It's gonna be hard to choose from, especially with this opening night live we're gonna talk about later.
okay. All right, that's Manny's way of saying let's keep it going. So let's jump over to the
Man,
Xbox
that's
showcase
hilarious.
here, guys. Uh, definitely not as good as the Bungie showcase or even the opening night live event. It was personally, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I feel like the pacing of it was kind of weird. We had some interesting announcements. Just to kind of go over a couple things real quick. They announced the Xbox Cloud Gaming stuff, meaning that you'll be able to stream games like from your Xbox at home. They also announced that gives people who are running like the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, and the Xbox One X, and all that stuff, gives them the ability to stream what do they call it, Gen 9, or
Mhm.
basically the Xbox Series X games. And I think they've already kind of dabbling in that, because people on the old generation were able to play Flight Simulator, and that was fully streamed from their Xbox. So I think that was kind of their first attempt. It seemed like it went really well. So it seems like they're going to open that up to everybody to be able to stream games from their Xbox in particular. So you don't necessarily have to download anything. Definitely a big deal. Very good stuff.
Mhm.
We also got some new Forza Horizon footage. I'm sure we're all going to want to talk about that in a second, but just to kind of round it out. So we also got State of Decay 2 Homecoming, which is a pretty big update. I think they went back to the original State of Decay map and then they expanded upon it. If I
It
remember
was
correctly.
called Heartland.
No, Heartland's the old one. This one,
What?
the one they just
Uh,
announced, is called Homecoming.
No, but I thought that was the map mean, not mean, but what? Nah.
I think the
My,
location is called something else.
okay, I'm probably wrong. All I heard was Heartland when I was listening to the
Okay,
stream.
well,
My
I
bad.
think they referenced Heartland because that was the old DLC. I could be wrong, but we'll dive into that again a little bit later. But yeah, so they also got Humble Games coming to Game Pass. A number of different games, all kind of more indie looking games, like nothing too major. I honestly didn't even know that like Humble Games was a thing in itself. I know the Humble Bundle, which was something that was kind of popular back in the day. And then we also got Into the Pit, which is another game that looks pretty interesting to say the least. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of Doom. Like, I think Felix compared it to Returnal too, which I thought was interesting.
Mhm.
But but yeah, definitely an interesting game. I mean, just speeding through this here. What did you guys think of the showcase? Like I said, personally, I was a little disappointed that we weren't getting like Halo news or like some bigger games, but clearly Microsoft wanted to save that stuff. So, Manny,
Yeah.
start with you. What do you think about it?
I mean, it was, interesting. It was obviously not what we expected it to be. We were hoping for bigger bangers on the showcase. So we were yesterday when we are attempting to record, we definitely had some,
Some words.
upsetting moments when we were talking about how we felt about the showcase. I did like, some of the things that they did talk about. Flight Simulator. I definitely got to dive into it more, but they're talking about, I forgot what it's called. Oh, but the Renault Air Races. There we go. That's what it's called.
Mm,
Where they have like the air races, so you can actually race with your boys, and how they're talking about how they're working on mapping out, I think, the whole Europe. So that's also good too. So like you can actually, see some of these iconic locations updated and
yeah.
into the game, which I'm excited because it's been a minute since I took a flight. So
I think they're specifically updating the area around Gamescom, actually, like
mhm.
Cologne, Germany, and like that general area. I think they call that World Update 5 or 6, one or the other. But yeah,
Something like that.
they're doing big things with Flight Simulator for sure. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
Chris, what about you, man? What did you think about the showcase?
I kind of felt a lot like how you did. It was really light in my opinion. Um, nothing really stood out to me like that. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I mean, it was cool. I always loved watching the showcase. I'm never gonna complain, but it compared to everything else that Microsoft has been doing this year, all the other stuff, not even counting E3 because that's a given, right? But like even every other thing they've done, just kind of came across as more pow. Just didn't have no pow to me. So, shit, let me look at the list again to see if there was anything here that I could really say I liked. And I was like, oh yeah, because
I think for me, I think the Forza footage is probably the thing that I guess would resonate with
yeah.
all of us.
All right, yeah, there you go. I ain't even gonna lie. The Forza is, I mean, the game is beautiful, bro. Like that shit is. I can't believe how nice they get it to look in certain angles, man. Like, I guess I don't want to say breathtaking because that sounds mad corny, right? That's like, yeah, right? It's like cliche, but
If it applies,
it looks that good. It is just nice, man. I know there's gonna be times where I'm like driving around and I'm gonna stop and then just look at what's around me in the game because it's nice. You know, man, Jesus.
That's what they want, man. That's what they want. You're gonna be taking a lot of screenshots and all that stuff. I know I'll be taking some screenshots. I'll be seeing that up on my Twitter. I'll be, hey, look where I'm at. Up in Mexico, chilling. By the time that game come out, it's gonna be cold as hell here too. So,
yeah,
Thanks.
It's man, it just like we were saying before we started to record. One of the things that kind of hit me the most watching it was just like taking a second to appreciate. You know, obviously we've come a long way in gaming, but just in racing games in particular, and how far they have come from like the arcade simulator where you kind of get in a big ass chair and you put a couple quarters in or whatever, and you're driving the game and you have to watch like the hills that are like a foot ahead of you render in while you're driving. And it's just we've gotten from that to this in like 20 years, 20 plus years, something like that.
yeah.
And it's nothing short of incredible, man. Like you have to take your hat off to these folks, man. Like it's to the point where, because I kind of feel the same way about the flight simulator too. Those two things, it's like, dude, they have really given people the actual experience, like, you know, short of, you know, putting on a headset and actually doing some VR shit of doing that, you know, and it's just that's all, man. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Word.
Yeah.
The one thing that so like Forza obviously was a big deal for me, but the one thing that I felt like kind of slid under the radar, and I feel like they didn't give it as much attention as it deserved, was really the first thing that I mentioned was the Xbox Cloud gaming stuff. I feel like that is such a big deal for a number of different reasons, and really I think it just boils down to like more of a quality of life thing. Um, the first scenario that I think about, right, and again, just to reiterate, it means that you can literally stream Xbox games like to your own Xbox. You don't have to download them. And we know how things are going right now with like storage and these games are getting bigger and bigger, especially these Gen 9 games. So not having to like, oh, I have to delete this game and then find space and then take whatever hours at a time that it might take to download a brand new game. Like Chris, I know that's an issue that you've had a couple times.
Couple, bro.
He said, let's put him on the spot with the connection.
Well,
what you mean?
More specifically, just because it's just like it's such a pain in the neck to like uninstall, do this, do that. Like, and I know the other day we were just talking about having you try out Rainbow Six Siege. This would be a perfect example, right? Because I think Siege is a great game, but you're not necessarily like as big into. Well, now I guess you're more into it, but like first person shooters haven't been your first love, in the way that like Manny and I've been playing for so long. So I think there's like a level of, well, we're unsure if Siege will really be your thing. So if that's the case, like, okay, well, now I could just stream it, try a couple games out, see if this is really for me or not. And then, if it is for me, then I'll figure out the space situation. I'll download it, do whatever. If it's not for me, then at least I got a chance to try it. I didn't have to waste the time to install it and do that, and the third. So I think that type of stuff is so big for quality of life in particular, like helping people to get into games quicker, try them out. If they don't like them, just move on with their lives. So I think that's such a big deal, and I'm hoping that they find some more creative ways to do things with it too. I would have to imagine that let's say that scenario comes about where you do figure out that you like Rainbow Six Siege and you are going to go ahead and install it. At least while it's installing, you can still stream, you can play with us, yada yada yada. I'm just hoping that opens up some possibilities for like gamers and developers to do different things while the game's streaming. I know we've talked about streaming quite a lot on this podcast, so I won't get too much deeper into it. But that is one thing that I'm very curious to see how it goes long term.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Just I mean, like you were talking about, just the fact that you can play Gen 8 games on a Gen 9, oh wait, Gen
9
9
games on the
games
Gen 8
on the
console.
Gen 8 console, you
Yeah.
get those flipped up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, because especially nowadays with the console shortage still being a thing, and it's hard to pick up a console. The fact that you're still given the opportunity is still crazy, and like it really does like widen everything out, and like eventually hopefully be able to play those Gen 8 games, or not Gen 8, Gen 9 games on your phone too. You know what I'm saying? And like, cause right now it's Gen 8 games, but like just the fact that we're getting there, and like about to be smacking people on Halo Infinite or Forza Horizon 5.
That's the thing that I kind of wish this thing came a little bit sooner, because now it unlocks the idea that Microsoft kind of put themselves in a situation when they guaranteed that for the first 2 years of the Xbox Series X life cycle, all of their games were going to also work on the Xbox One, right?
Hmm.
Now, if you have the streaming thing, if they had it a little bit sooner, then they could have made that promise and not held back certain games. And we don't necessarily know if like a Halo Infinite got held back. I mean, I think you have to assume that it did because of
Hmm.
the pushback and all the things that happened there. But other games, for example, I don't know, Forza Motorsport or something along those lines, like those games being, if they could be only Gen 9 games. So we're gonna this is the new term we're gonna start using, because I hate saying Series S and X now. So Gen 9, and I'm sure that's
Hmm.
exactly what Microsoft says it too. But yeah, Gen 9 games being streamable to Gen 8 systems forces you to not have to worry about, oh well, now I have to make the game, like I have to dumb down certain assets of the game and do this and do that and take more time in development to make it work natively on a Gen 8 system. And yeah, I'm hoping that that gives us, like, accelerates the clock on like nicer
Hmm.
looking next gen games with more features and all that other stuff when they don't have to worry about the old shit no more. So definitely hoping
I
that's
feel,
the
I
thing.
feel.
If only Cyberpunk could just do this across platforms. Just nix the older versions and just
It's too late
let
for them,
people
man.
stream the other ones.
Yeah,
I know, I know. I'm just saying,
They are
just
they
saying.
are fucked. Like they are like firmly stuck where they are. They're gonna forever have to worry about like
Oh boy.
anything they do with the game. They're gonna have to
mm,
worry about the old generation. So yeah, they're fucked for sure.
Mhm.
definitely.
But yo, let's get into the big conversation here. The opening night live stuff, man. Whew, these 30 games. We're not gonna talk about all of them, but there's definitely some big ones in here. Um, I mean, let's start at the top of the list here, guys. The biggest, well, Manny, I'm not gonna offend you here, but the biggest game that got announced or talked about in this whole thing was got to be Halo Infinite. We finally have a release date here, so it's coming out December 8th. I know that leaked a little bit earlier today, but it's good to finally get that confirmation from Joe Staten on stage. He said that the campaign and the multiplayer are both going to launch on the same day. I know last week we got some reports that the co-op's getting delayed, and so is Forge,
Hmm.
which I guess it is what it is, but at least we're getting the game. We're getting the free to play stuff. We're getting the very first season of multiplayer.
Hmm.
I am fucking excited. I was a little disappointed that they didn't announce like another tech test, because I've been itching to get back in there. Because the very first beta was, our technical test was a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, I mean, I want to get your take on Halo first off. Chris, we'll start with you.
I mean, about time. It's definitely about time that we got that date. Um, yeah, man. You know what's funny? It's a Call of Duty's gonna come out and have a whole month to breathe, a whole month just to get all the oxygen that they can get, muster it on up. Then as soon as that shit comes out, Lord of mercy, I think it's gonna be a lot of cutoff. A lot of people, oh, I can't breathe. A lot of that gonna be going on. You know what I'm saying?
Suck the air out
Uh,
the room.
absolutely. Like, you ever seen like a spaceship and the door flies off and then everything just gets, yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, man, it's this. I'm excited for it. I've been saying it for a while. I'm really ready for like new PvP games. Like I'm ready for this. I'm ready for Battlefield. I guess I'm like one of like 5 people who are excited for X Defiant. That game got trashed on the internet for no reason, and I don't know why. But I'm excited about it.
Same.
There's another one too that's coming out, but regardless, I'll get the point. I'm really like kind of ready for this stuff. So December 8th, a couple months away. Hopefully, it doesn't get pushed back for any other reasons or anything like that. And yeah, especially because Cross made the game seem so next gen, and that's kind of another reason why I'm so excited about it, is because I can't say I've played an FPS game thus far since the new consoles have come out that made me say this is the new FPS experience in terms of next gen. I haven't experienced that yet, not on one of these games, not one. So if somebody as reputable as Almighty Cross has it in him to say that this is going to force other games to step its game up because it feels that much more polished and new in terms of the mechanics and stuff, then no, I 2 times in one episode, bro. I gotta take the hat off again. That's an early hat. That hat might go back on if I end up having to put my foot in my mouth, but you know what I'm saying?
That an early hat. Okay.
Early hat, fam.
All right. So Manny,
Mm-hmm.
Halo.
Yeah, not only we got the trailer for the season 1, but in the release date, but we also got some hardware. Oh my goodness, let me tell you about that Elite controller. That looking sexy. I'm I'm glad that I just sold my other Elite controller too, because like it was just like I never used it and I just sold it, and I might just have to buy a new one.
I might have to buy a new one because my left bumper is going again, and I sent it out to Microsoft and they fixed it.
Bro, my right bumper and left bumper is going. So I don't know if I want to buy it yet, but I do want to buy it because I mean the detail on just the controller itself. And don't get me started with the console. You know what I'm saying? The console was looking.
That's the real winner right there,
bro. I was so close to pre-ordering it. Like earlier when I was just, at work, but I was like, you know what? Let me not make these impulsive decisions. But let me look at my bank account real quick. But I mean, the console looks amazing. The control looks amazing. Can't wait to get my hands on it December 8th. Seems so far away, but hey, man, eventually we get there, boys.
We'll get there.
Yeah, man.
We got plenty of games in between, though. We got plenty of games in between.
Yeah.
And after. Speaking of which, getting to the next game. This is probably Manny's biggest game here. Definitely, I'm definitely very excited. They started the show with it, man, and I was honestly kind of surprised that they were. I was like, oh, okay, this is the tone we're setting. Like, okay, you out here announcing stuff. All right, cool. So Saints Row, man, Saints Row. The rumors are true. We're finally getting another Saints Row reboot. Really, the trailer looked absolutely nutty. Super excited for it. It looks pretty much like what I was hoping that they would do, and kind of going back to their roots of Saints Row. Like, doesn't look like we're getting any of the crazy superpower stuff. Doesn't look like we're dealing with aliens. We're dealing with not low level, but we're dealing with street gangs. And the concept is to rise to the top. I think the tagline they said in the show was that self-made is the tagline. For me, when I was looking at the trailer too, they showed your gang, and I don't know, for some reason I kind of was getting the vibe that there might be some co-op elements to it. I'm hoping that's the case, but they definitely didn't really seem to talk about that so far. It's still relatively early, I guess. The game's supposed to be coming out February 25th, 2020, so that February timeframe is going to be looking pretty busy there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I know we're gonna have a couple other games that are coming out in that time frame, but yeah, Manny, I know this is your game, so take it away, man. What do you think of it so far?
Yeah, I'm glad they went this route because I mean we've seen everybody was upset with not only 4 with the whole superpowers of flying, which personally I didn't mind it. I thought it was a pretty fun experience having the superpowers fighting aliens and everything like that, even though it isn't like what Saints Row should be. But yeah, I'm glad they're rebooting, go back to their roots. Like I just love the way the style of the game, the way it feels because I haven't got my hands on it, but the way it looks, the way it plays, and it looks like an interesting characters. Hopefully they bring my boy Johnny Gat somehow back, or Shaundi or Pierce. Those are the big 3 in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they gotta at least show like a cameo or something of them coming back.
I would be shocked if you don't get a Johnny Gat's cameo.
At least a Johnny Gat. Like I'm sure you're gonna have like a part where he's like put on the shades or something at least. But I'm excited. It's a reboot. I know you mentioned co-op. I know Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4 had co-op in it, so I'm sure they're not gonna let go of that, and I wonder what they're gonna do with multiplayer wise. If it's only gonna be a co-op experience, or if they're gonna, Saints Row is known for stealing, at least what GTA San Andreas was
A
at the
lot of
time. Well,
GTA.
let maybe they might steal GTA Online into Saints Row.
I don't know if they have the capacity for that though. I don't know if Volition has the
I
ability to
I
sustain
know.
like something like that. But honestly, I would be fine with a co-op experience if they can flesh that out and like make that world really cool. I'm okay with that alone. But if they find some way to pull out like a Saints Row Online and have that be some sort of sustained connected world, I'm here for it, man. I think it'd be cool,
Hmm.
but I don't know if they got that. That's a huge undertaking. I don't know if they
Yeah,
got the
that's for
Hey
budget for
sure.
man,
that.
if they somehow pull it off, they can, because everybody wants GTA 6. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a given. But if GTA ain't gonna give us GTA 6, I'm sure people will want something new. And I mean, Saints Row was a great game in the past, and if this game just creates that attention, and then like I said, online pops off, it may not be as like big as GTA 5's online, where you can do like your own heist and everything like that yet. But I mean, just something to start off. Have like a lobby of 16 people just roam around whatever the city's called and chilling.
I see that. I can see that. I mean, maybe it'll be one of those things where even if they don't start off with that online component, maybe they see how the game does. If the game garners them enough money and resources to actually build out like a full fledged online world, maybe a year later we might see something. I mean, it took GTA a little while for them to flesh out their online component. Didn't release with GTA 5 initially, right? So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Chris, what about you, man? I know you haven't necessarily played the original Saint Zeros. I know you're a little skeptical
Nah.
about them, but
Yeah, no, they never really like did it for me in terms of how silly they always looked. So that always kind of threw me off for a moment. I never really played the first few of them, I think. But as far as the trailer goes, I'm not mad at it. It definitely looked kind of cool. It definitely looked a lot more realistic, I guess you could say. The one thing I am hoping for is I know you just mentioned that they always steal from GTA. I'm hoping that they somehow can come up with something that is not in GTA. And I know that's like really asking for a lot. But I would love to see them just give something that's like literally their own original thing and not just a direct rip from GTA. GTA has done so much and they like literally are so trailblazing that I know that's a hard ask. But man, I feel like for me personally, I would gain more respect for them as a franchise. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's me being petty, but it's just the truth, bro. It's just the truth.
I,
Um,
well now I'm
Uh,
like I'm about to say it, but I'm like now I can't think of what it is that they did. But I remember the OG Saints Rows, like they had mechanics that GTA did not have, and I
mhm.
think GTA ended up taking those mechanics just
really,
because it just
because
made.
nobody talks about that stuff
Right. I
ever.
mean, but it's more like it made sense for them to take those mechanics because it was just how the evolution of the industry was going. But I mean, Saints Row definitely had like they were very innovative. They like
Yeah.
killed it with the
Mhm.
way they did the gang stuff and like I don't know. I felt like they did a really good job with the very first two. And that's why I'm kind of sad for you that you didn't play the first two because I feel like at the time they were really bangers. But also I kind of get why you wouldn't have played them because I'm pretty sure the first one was an Xbox exclusive and back then you were a
Mhm.
PlayStation guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so I guess that makes sense. But yeah, the OG ones, I mean, they really hit. And then like, I don't know, three and beyond, just I
those
don't know
guys.
they just lost their soul entirely.
They just went to the next level when they didn't have to go to the next level. They went from gangsters to celebrities.
Yo, for real. And then like, then they were just saving the world out of no. It was just like, bro, keep it at the ground level. These motherfuckers are
Mhm.
gangsters. They're out here just trying to get their cash. Like, you don't have to make them. So it was just too much, man. Too much.
Mhm.
Way too much.
Man,
I
but I
don't
mean,
remember. Oh, go ahead,
eh,
Chris.
no, I was just gonna say I also think it's good when it's releasing because I don't know if I had said this in a prior pod or not. I might have, but um, yeah, the more early they can release this game as opposed to like anything GTA is gonna be doing with their next game, the better, in my opinion. Because I already know as soon as this game comes out, it's over. Like ain't nobody gonna be talking about no Saints Row no more, man. Y'all gotta get every drip and drop out of this little time frame that y'all can. And then it might be a good 2-year run because we don't know how long GTA 6 is gonna take, but I'm just glad it's coming sooner rather than later. That's all. I don't want it to try to compete with them. Like
Yeah, I don't think
standalone.
I don't
Yeah.
think they want to try to compete with them. I don't think anybody wants to try to compete with them. Watch when Rockstar announces when that game comes out, like I don't know. Let's say Call of Duty announces, oh, well, that year in Call of Duty is gonna come out November 15th or whatever. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden Rockstar's like, we're gonna come out November 15th. Call of Duty gonna fucking move. They're gonna move. They are going to move. And Call of Duty is probably the second biggest game that I can think of, like in that hierarchy of games, against the GTA. Like it doesn't matter what you are, what you do, you know that Rockstar is the game. You are going to move out of their way. Otherwise, you're
Mhm.
gonna get fucking crushed. It's not gonna be a good look. You do not want to compete.
Damn, sounds so dominant. That's hilarious.
But they
And
are. They are.
Yeah.
they took the crown of just like making the fast selling game of all time, whatever. It's just like crazy, bro.
So
And like
the fasting and the most selling, like they have both
Yeah,
of those
highest
titles.
grossing, fastest
Damn.
selling, all that. Yeah, all that.
That's
All that shit. And they're gonna do it again. They're
they're probably gonna do it again with this GTA next gen update.
Oh hell yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of people already have the game, so is it just an update or are they gonna be reselling the game? And that's the
I
thing we still
guarantee
don't know.
I guarantee they're gonna be reselling the game because I remember seeing like a couple of things on Twitter where it's like people complaining about how they like priced it in their website for $60, I think, or something like that. So yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have to buy the game again.
I'm still kind of shocked we haven't. Well, I mean, I guess Gamescom is still going on, and obviously Rockstar doesn't really care about doing things on people's time frames. But I'm surprised that we haven't heard more about this update, like seen something, getting a release date, something at this point. Like this is kind of the time frame for it.
We got a release date. I think it's like November 11th. But I feel like because usually when Rockstar like does something, at least of recently, it's always been on the PlayStation Showcase. So I feel like it might be on like whenever PlayStation has their next state of play. So
I have one at all.
I mean, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure they're gonna have one. They're gonna probably showcase like some God of War maybe or something. But whatever. That's the topic for a different day.
It's true.
You are optimistic.
I mean, hey, that brings us to the next game, though. I mean, they came out and they showed off. Well, they didn't show off, but they came out and talked about Horizon Forbidden West, and they basically came out and was like, "Hey guys, the game's coming out next year on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, February 18th. See you guys there." And then that was kind of it. So they could have done that at a state of play. Like, why did they do that there? I don't know. Are we really gonna get a state of play?
Yeah.
I mean,
that is something they would have kept for that for sure. Absolutely, they would have kept it for that. There's no, yeah. That's a good point. He makes a good point. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I mean, let's put it like this: why would you want to have a whole state of play just for it to be like, okay, we're coming out February 22nd?
Well, obviously they're not going to have a whole
18th.
state of play for it, but if they're going to have a state of play,
it would be on it.
Why wouldn't that be on it? Like, they would just not put it in this Geoff Keighley thing and be like, all right, like here is where we're going to put it, and then it'll incentivize people to watch because we'll have more information. Like they could have marketed it this way. Hey, we'll have more information about for Horizon Forbidden West. We'll have more information about God of War. We'll have more information about this. Like, why would that be the thing that you chose to put on there? And Death Stranding was there too, right? I mean, we're not going to get too deep into it, but like those are two games that you could have easily just put it into your state of play and been like, hey, like this is another piece of news. Like, what's that? Seafood is another game that was on PlayStation stage. They gave an official announcement at this opening night live. It's going to be another February 22nd game. So Jet, I think, is another one. Jet the Far Shore. That's another exclusive PlayStation game that I think has been on PlayStation stage. So like there's opportunities to show those things off at PlayStation's events, and yet they're not there, and they're giving out release dates on Geoff Keighley's thing. Like, I don't know if we're really going to be seeing another PlayStation event. At least not in September. I can't imagine we're going to get one in September at all.
I mean, I feel like they at least have one at least like every 3 to 4 months. So I feel like we're going to get one, and usually during like 30 minutes max. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with some scraps and was like, okay, here's your state of play. and at least showcase GTA. Unless GTA is going to be the main game they showcase on that state of play, because like Rockstar was saying, they have like a lot of things cooking up that like you don't see in GTA now, supposedly. So
It's
that could
possible.
be
It's
that
possible.
could be like the main show for a state of play.
I still feel like when we see that stuff, it's gonna be on Rockstar's thing. They're gonna be
That's
like,
how I feel. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it that way.
they're just gonna release the
Alright,
trailer
yeah, I
and be
agree.
like, "Here, guys, here's our shit." Like, I don't know. I feel like
they don't need anybody else's outlet to do this. This announcement is going to be massive, regardless of how they do it.
Yeah.
Regardless, and why not bring the eyes to their own personal product rather than use another middleman?
I feel like with the exception of that event last year that you were talking about, Manny, Rockstar hasn't been on anybody else's stage in a long time, right? Like, I think the last time they were on someone's stage was like when they announced that Grand Theft Auto was coming to Xbox, like on Xbox 360 years ago. Other than that,
No,
I
I
feel
think
like
I think they came at least for the last gen upgrade when they were like, okay, it's coming to Xbox One and PS4. I think they came into that one.
But who's did? I feel like they just announced it and released a trailer. No,
I thought it was PlayStation stages.
We got to
But
check
you
it
know,
out. We got to check it
it's
out.
whatever. I know PlayStation, Rockstar have their own little thing.
No, they totally do. They totally do. They totally do have like
So,
they've always had a good relationship. I don't know. I just feel like that's one of those things they're just gonna be like, fuck everybody. We're just gonna release our own shit. We don't care because we're Rockstar. You guys are gonna buy our shit anyways. Like they're that one studio that it just doesn't matter. They just do shit on their own.
Yeah.
Because they're
y'all
just
bow down to us.
Yeah.
Facts. Shit. That's how this works.
pretty much.
All right, but yeah, like we said, you know, aside from Horizon, we also got a little bit of information on Death Stranding. Again, we're not gonna get too deep into that. We got Call of Duty Vanguard. We got some gameplay. I'm still pretty down on this game, but I have to admit, the gameplay that they showed off was very compelling. Like from a story standpoint, I would be interested in playing this. Will I spend $60 on this game? Hell no.
Yeah, it's like I was mentioning to you guys earlier. I feel like it's just interesting that they showed the story mode, even though like we all agreed upon the game did look great for what it was, but at the same time, it's like people play Call of Duty not for the story anymore. They only play for the multiplayer. Like I'm surprised they didn't hit us with like a sneak peek of the new Verdansk map or anything like that. But instead, give us like this little cinematic trailer for the new story mode. But I mean, either way, the game did look good. I'm sure we all can agree to this. I don't think I'll be spending $60, $70, whatever they charge on the game, especially if Warzone's still free.
Yeah.
So I could use the guns in Warzone. I'm good.
Yeah. But shout out to Orlando though. Every year my guy be buying them Call of Duties and we game share. So, I'll have it. I'll be able to play it.
Nope. I got Cold War last year because I said we're gonna play zombies a lot. We only played like a good weekend or two and never again.
I played a lot of zombies, but I played that in the middle of the day when we were all home from the pandemic and you were at work. I played a lot of zombies. Felix can attest to that. But yeah, Chris, what about you, man? I know you were saying, you kind of liking this a little bit more than you thought you would. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it looks good. It definitely it's World War II, but it didn't look so old school that I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. I was more worried that like a lot of the guns and stuff were gonna have really like old school mechanics, and some of them were gonna like have weird reloading stuff attached to them or something like that. It didn't look like that to me. It looked very gritty. You definitely could kind of tell where they were using the other engine or whatever. It looks a lot better to me than Black Ops did. I said it since day one. I never liked how that game looked, and even now, I don't even like how like when you get I don't know what they call those things that pop up at the top of the screen, like achievements or whatever, as you're going through the game. Every time you get one, it does like this weird noise that sounds like a chain, like a chain gate, like closing or some shit. I don't know. And I'm like, every time I get a double kill or something, I gotta hear this dumbass ding in my. All right, I don't know. I wasn't really fucking with it, but this looks okay. I might buy it just because I haven't bought a Call of Duty game in a couple of years, so I don't really mind probably going to do that now, especially because it's been painful for me to jump into Plunder to upgrade weapons so slowly to use them in Warzone because I never bought Black Ops. I only try to take advantage of like the free weekends whenever they have it. So Yeah, no, I'm not overly over the top about it. I definitely like a lot of the climbing mechanics and things like that. The world in the campaign seems very alive. Um, yeah, and then again, aesthetically, it looks very nice. If it looks anything, if the Warzone map looks anything like what we saw in this little thing, I might be here for it. You know what I'm saying? I might be
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
I do want to bring up something that Manny had mentioned, right? You said that, not a lot of people play Call of Duty for its campaign, but it clearly seems like a lot of love and attention went into this particular campaign, right? Like you could see they've added a couple different mechanics, like the climbing mechanic. I mean, obviously the quality of what we saw, that little vertical slice was very, very high. Um, do you think that Activision's wasting resources on single player? Maybe it's a question for you directly, I guess. Yes, no.
My boy Chris is like,
I'm waiting for you to answer.
I said
Go
you,
ahead.
Manny. It's you.
Yeah,
oh, me.
Yeah, I
yeah.
said I'm you.
My bad. Do I feel like they're wasting a lot of resources on campaign? I don't know, because I feel like every year, even though we always talking about how like they only focus on multiplayer, they're always bringing up, oh, we always got this war stories going on in Call of Duty, and we feel like this is the main reason why people buy this game and everything like that. And I'm just like, all right, so I understand like they're trying to back that part up. Um, what is it called? I mean, I usually like the Call of Duty campaigns. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll be playing it when I have the game. It's just that the big selling point is usually the multiplayer factor
Right.
and the fact that even though they are showing a lot of TLC 10 to 11 care for people who don't know TLC on the campaign part. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like if they want to really sell the game to the Call of Duty crowd, they got to show the multiplayer, especially now when we got games like Battlefield, Halo,
Mhm.
on all those good old stuff, Splitgate, even free to play, that are taking up the multiplayer scene. And it's like, why would I want to spend $70 on a game that is pretty much could be the same pretty much every year, and it's usually the same thing. You get your team deathmatch, search and destroy, and stuff like that. They do got zombies that are backed up by Treyarch, which is good. Hopefully, they got some creative little zombie maps. I didn't really personally like the Cold War zombie maps, so hopefully they'll turn that around. But other than that, I'm just hoping we hear some multiplayer news to really grasp our attention and the multiplayer community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, multiplayer
Yeah.
is definitely king. I think so. Here's another way I guess I can ask the question, right? Do you think that it would make more sense for them to just not make a single player story anymore, and then spin off those teams who are really focused on the single player stuff into making like a different game entirely? Like, what if you just don't have to make a Call of Duty, right? Like at this point, obviously Activision feels like they're all in on Call of Duty, right? Literally every single studio that Activision owns right now is a is working on Call of Duty in some way, shape, or form. Which is ridiculous, but whatever. Uh would it just make more sense to like make have Sledgehammer go make another like whatever game it is that they want to make that's like a single player only game and give them all the resources in the world and like they will probably make something great. Like I don't know, like I feel like when I was watching that vertical slice, I was like, man, this gives me vibes of like the high quality PlayStation games that we always talk about, right? Like the lighting in the game and the way that the story was progressing and all that stuff and how immersive it felt and yada yada yada. It looked amazing, but I feel like it's almost like a double-edged sword because people will buy the game because it's got the Call of Duty branding, right? So people will never see these trailers at all and just
Mm-hmm.
hear Call of Duty and they're already there to reserve their game, right? I remember when I worked at GameStop, I had a number of people. It was like, "Oh, I heard the new Call of Duty game got announced," and then I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be this, and this." Like, "Oh, I didn't know any of that. I'm just here to reserve it." You don't even know what it's about. It's Call of Duty. I got to get it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure, whatever. So like, obviously, that brand has that level of power. So I guess if they did take Sledgehammer and like spun it off to do like a different game, it probably wouldn't make as much money. But I'd have to imagine that they would have so much more creative freedom to do more stuff. Like I have to imagine that like being a support studio and only having to make Call of Duty content and only having to do like, okay, now we have to be in World War II. Or we like the only option is World War II, Vietnam, Cold War, and like modern day. And like all you can do is like a war story. So like it
Mhm.
seems like Call of Duty wants to get away from the whole sci-fi stuff, like the futuristic stuff, because obviously that didn't work out too well for them. It's like you're hamstrung as a studio, like creatively, and I don't know, it's just aren't you gonna lose talent that way? Like I just feel like it's a really weird risk for them to be taking.
It's true. I can see what you mean by that because, like, I mean, like I said, I enjoy the story mode, but not everybody goes to Call of Duty to play story mode. And it's funny enough. I remember you saying, or like what you said earlier, it's like, oh, how about they just take the studio and make a campaign specifically game or whatever, a story based game. I remember they tried to do that with Black Ops 4. They had no campaign, and I remember they're getting shit on for it. And it was like, it's like, what do you want me to do?
They
You want
got
me to
shit on because they still charge $60 though.
Mhm.
That's the difference. So that's where people will get mad. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
so you're gonna tell me that last year you charged me $60 for a game that gave me a campaign, probably some survival slash zombie mode and multiplayer, and now you're giving me a game that's only multiplayer and you're still charging me $60. That's
Man,
where the problem comes
the
into play.
reason why it was still $60 because that blackout mode was their story. You know what I'm saying? They took out the development in the story and was like, all right, we're gonna make a battle royale because we're trying to cash in on this.
That's even worse. That's even more reason to be
Yeah.
mad because most
I
battle
know,
royales are
but
free.
like that was their fault for doing it the way they
Oh,
did. But
absolutely,
even
absolutely.
it was so I mean, it's Activision, and all they want is money. There ain't no way they're gonna make a Call of Duty game that's not full price. What story without story? They're gonna be like, oh, our story is the zombies mode this year or whatever. They're gonna find a way to like whatever loop it in.
I felt you
But
could take out $20 out of that and sell even more copies. You
it's
could
true.
you could charge $40 or I guess 50 now because games are $70 on next gen. So let's say you're charging 40 for last gen and 50 for this gen. You take out that $20 because you're not getting a story. People are gonna buy it. People are gonna
Mhm.
buy it maybe more. So I don't know,
Yeah, it
man.
definitely does look more appealing, and the fact that like games for next gen consoles are $70 nowadays. Just looking at games, is just like maybe this ain't worth it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
that ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
Chris, what do you think about it though? I know Manny and I've been going back and forth, but yeah, I mean, what do you think that's a viable solution? Do you think people will go for that?
Um, they would, I think, if they did it in the right way. Like, because let's be real, like, there's a lot of people who don't play the multiplayer, but I mean, not the multiplayer, the campaign. But it's almost like how do I put this? It's like you got to replace the value if you don't put that in it, or significantly reduce the price. And even if you should reduce the price, I think there's still going to be a handful of people that are still going to be looking for something to still replace it, even if it's a separate thing that costs the, I don't know, other remainder of whatever the $70 would have come up to.
Mm.
But like, because like you can't take, if you take out campaign mode completely out of COD, I do think you're going to piss off a handful of people. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if they want to go down that route per se. But I also think, if we're being 100% real, the majority of people, if they do play campaign, it's a one-time thing. It's fast, and then it's either Warzone or multiplayer, and that's it. So I kind of see both sides of it. I guess it's hard for me to say which side it should like sway towards, though.
I guess
Because it's
sorry.
not even a resource thing. It's like it's
Mm.
Activision.
Yeah, I mean they have unlimited resources. But I think the thing that I feel like financially they could be making more money if they were like, all right, like you guys go make your own game. Let's say Sledgehammer turns out to be a Naughty Dog level developer and they make their own Last of Us or Uncharted or whatever it is. And now that's a whole different revenue source. Like there are people who will exclusively buy single player games, in addition to the people who will still buy, multiplayer games and like see something at that level of quality and be like, I want to be a part of that. So I don't know. I feel like that's like a different revenue source that you could be getting, especially because now you're basically charging $60, $60 or $70 for just a single player game now. and that's like actually acceptable when the quality is that high. So I don't know. I
I,
wonder.
I feel like nowadays with the way multiplayer is, and with the whole battle pass and life service model and everything like that, I feel like just Call of Duty should just go that route and get their money through battle passes. And then if you have a story, like you said, if it's like a AAA worthy kind of story that's worth $60, $70, then yeah, throw that out every year instead of making like like a half-ass story with a multiplayer focused game pretty much.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping that Vanguard isn't like a half-ass story, because that's what I kind of feel like sometimes the stories are in the games. But like I just feel like the life service model is slowly creeping up. It's working with Warzone,
Yeah.
and it could possibly work with the multiplayer soon too.
I was shocked to see that they even tried to do a multiplayer component
Mhm.
in Black Ops Cold War, because it was like, why? Like you guys are clearly killing it with Warzone right now.
Yeah.
The microtransaction money you guys are getting is off the chain. Like, why are you even bothering with this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey man,
That's even worse, man.
not saying anything in what is it called? Not seeing any multiplayer news in Vanguard. It's got me worried about that right now. Like, is it just a single player game? Because like I
Well,
said,
no, because the alpha for PlayStation is happening
oh yeah,
like this weekend. Yeah, so
I
it's
forgot about the alpha.
yeah,
You're right.
it's there. They just haven't
How
talked
I
about it
just
yet.
hope it's not one of those situations those where the multiplayer is in focus because of Warzone.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, it's a big chance that could happen. Like a high chance that will happen. So I mean,
Yeah.
only way that what you want to happen with them splitting off the sledgehammer to go do other stuff is if somehow in a fairy tale world, Xbox was able to acquire rights to Call of Duty and they let them do what they want to do. That seems like the
That'll
only
never
place in the gaming universe. No, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But where else in gaming do you ever hear of you getting hired or getting bought out by somebody and then getting told you can do what you want to do? I don't
Sony
hear,
does that. Sony does that. But
like
yeah.
to the extent that we hear from Xbox and how they do with all their studios, it
Yeah.
sounds like they get like almost, how do I put it? Not like a blank check. I don't want to say it like that, but it almost sounds like they
Basically.
get. It is, but
Yeah.
like there's a lot of support and stuff also that comes with it.
Right.
It sounds like I don't know. It just seems like they do it in a different way.
I agree.
That'd be
I agree.
crazy.
I do think it's
Yeah.
one of those things that only a platform holder can get away with. Like, I do think Xbox, because of what's happened in the Xbox One era, is very much on that wave of like, we trust you, we trust the creators, do whatever, and you're good. Sony, there's there in the past there have been some reports that they were on that wave too. They were very much like, go make whatever it is you want. Like with Gorilla, right? Like Sony could have very easily said, "Hey, you guys are going to make Killzone until the day you die," and they were like, "Nah, go make whatever it is you want." And it was Horizon, and now Horizon's huge. So we'll get we shit on Sony a lot, but we'll definitely give them credit here. Like they definitely do that too. So I think that's pretty much the only two places that you can really see that happening is that if Call of Duty got acquired by Xbox or Sony, which will never happen.
Doubt it.
But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
That's fairy tale.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale. All right, we spent way more time on Call of Duty than I wanted to. We weren't even going to talk about Call of Duty at all. But anyways,
Yeah, it snuck in there.
yeah, it
God
really
damn
did.
it.
It really did. Okay, so I'm gonna actually jump to another game that's pretty weird. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. It's Cult of the Lamb. Devolver Digital is out here, man. They they always got interesting stuff, interesting weird games going on.
Oh,
Basically, you're like a lamb that's like possessed by something, or I don't know, or you're working with the devil or something. I don't know, something real weird about that game, man. But it definitely caught our eye, so we definitely wanted to talk about it a little bit. Chris, I know you were the one in particular who wanted to talk about it, so I'll let you go, man.
I don't have a lot to say about this game, folks. This is the first video game trailer in quite a long time that made me feel uncomfortable. There's not a lot of video games that, like, if I had kids, that I'd be like, I don't want my kids playing that. Even if it's like Grand Theft Auto, I still think that my kids, knowing me and the way I would want to raise my kids, I feel like they would be sensible enough to be able to play some kind of game like that and be fine, right? I wouldn't let my kids play no Cult of Lamb. I'm being on. I never. That is one game that I would be like, if I walked in the room and my kids was playing that shit, what the fuck is this? That's exactly what I would have to ask. What is this?
Turn this shit off.
Bruh. Yeah. What the fuck is, you is not about to be sitting here playing this sacrificial bullshit in my house.
That shit was weird, bro.
No, absolutely not, bro. These dudes was doing rituals and they're bleeding from the eyes and people's heads are getting cut off. And it's supposed to like have this cartoony kitty vibe to it too.
Super dark.
Nope. If I have a problem playing the game and I'm an adult, there's absolutely no way your little ass is playing this game. I catch y'all playing this damn game. I swear to God, I'm taking the goddamn Xbox. You're not playing this shit. I just want to play Cult of Lamb. No. That is a solid no. I swear, let me catch you playing that game. I swear.
Play Call of Duty instead.
Oh my goodness.
Go, here, there's like strip clubs and, GTA, you can go get some drugs and, you shoot people and that's cool. But you're not going to be doing no frog shit. With no big frog owl looking thing in the middle of it. There was like 7 of those rabbits with like hoodies.
Yep. And then it seemed like the gameplay loop was that you had to like gain more followers so that you could get more powerful. I was like, nah, bro, I'm good.
And then like, it got possessed. And then like when the rabbits fell at its feet because it saved them, it like loved it. It was like,
oh my goodness.
All right, I always want to think, what would the game teach my child? In any kind of sense. Nope. I'd come in the next day. My kid will be wearing all black fingernails with tears out of their eyes, looking all crazy and all this gel in their hair out of nowhere. I'm telling you, I couldn't do it. Nope. I couldn't do it. Get that shit out of my house. That shit out my house, bro. No. Absolutely.
Like, that ain't my kid no more.
No, that's always gonna be my kid. But what the whole fuck? You want me to be okay with them playing this? No.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, it's not happening.
It's funny because, like you mentioned, it's like it just looks like a kid-friendly game, but then you look at this like, what is this satanic ritual? Look at
damn, the thing was bleeding from the eyes, like it was like taking in the souls or whatever the hell was going on, and its eyes was open and there was blood just. I'm like,
my boy about to have nightmares.
Can't do it.
Nah, man.
Can't do it. Oh man.
Rated MA. Damn it, shit.
Just A for adult. Just A for adult. All right, so we go jump into the next one though, because we're running a little long. But one that actually another one that caught my eye, for good reasons as opposed to the reasons for this other one, was Midnight Fight. That's another game that's actually being made by Humble Games. Apparently, it's going to launch on Game Pass as well, as we learned from yesterday's Xbox Showcase. So it kind of reminds me of Sifu a little bit, but like it's more top down, kind of similar to the Ascent, but it's like a kung fu action game. I didn't see enough of it to understand what the gameplay loop was, but it just seemed very, very graphic. But like the fighting looked very intricate. Like you looked like you could kind of, I don't know, target where you were hitting people. There were still guns in the game. You could knock people over ledges and stuff like that. It just looked really cool. And I think like in one of our earlier episodes, ironically, our earlier episodes are kind of coming full circle because Manny talked about Saints Row in one of our earlier episodes, and I talked about wanting more kung fu games in our earlier episodes, like going back to not True Crimes, but Sleeping Dogs and like a couple other games. So this one seems to really be kind of fitting that mode for me, in addition to Sifu. So yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. Did you guys get a chance to see that one at all?
Yeah. You want to go first, man?
I didn't get to see the trailer. No, I didn't. I'll be honest.
Okay.
But
it's cool. It's cool. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. It looks kind of cool.
I seen it, but it wasn't for me, dog. It wasn't for me, dog. I'm gonna be 100% with you, like. I watched it and I said,
you wasn't vibing with the top down?
Nah. It I don't know, it came off a little too basic for me. I don't know, maybe I need to see more. But whatever I saw in that little trailer just didn't grip me. And not just that game. I don't want to single that out. There's a lot of games that hit me that way. But this was unfortunately one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games on this list that, like, we have a long list here. We're not going to talk about all of them because not all of them are hitting, but Yeah, it's definitely some interesting ones. Actually, going to another one that's pretty weird that Chris said he wasn't feeling, but I had him watch it the full thing, and he was kind of like, okay, it's a little interesting. It's Decay V, very weird ass game.
Mhm.
Clearly not Western at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It looks like a weird mixture of like Monster Hunter meets Pokemon meets like some other stuff in there. The one thing I don't understand is why does this game look so good graphically? It looks
Mhm.
fucking beautiful. Like some of the
Yeah.
way the physics looks, like there was an area where there was like smoke bubbling up and stuff. It looked good. There's another moment where you're like swinging through thunder like Spider-Man or Wonder Woman. Um I don't know, it's a weird game and it just absolutely caught my eye and I feel like whenever it comes out I need to play it. But apparently it's an MMO. I don't know what else to say about it, so I'm just gonna defer to you guys. Manny, what did you think about the game, bro?
Yeah, I mean, looking at first at it, it was like as the trailer starts, you just chill in this world, and next thing you know, they pull out the skateboard, riding around. It's like, okay, what kind of game? What kind of game is this? And then next thing you know, you're fighting like these big creatures, and it's just like, wait, what? I thought this was just like a chill, like Riders Republic, where you're just riding around with your boys, and next thing you know, you're fighting these bosses. But yeah, apparently it's a MMO, Pokemon collect them all type of game. So, I mean, it looks interesting, like you said. I mean, surprisingly, for what the game looks like it's supposed to be or intended to, and then you got these like amazing looking graphics, and it's just like, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, it
But
doesn't.
I mean, the fighting mechanics look interesting though. Like if it's like a free MMO type of game, I wouldn't mind trying it out.
Oh, if it's free, I'm in there.
Mhm.
I'm in there, but I don't think it's gonna be free. But yeah, Chris, let's get your impressions, bro.
Well, not gonna lie, like you said, first time I tried to watch that trailer, I got maybe about a minute in, and I was like, nah, this ain't for me, dog. I'm starting to have less and less patience for certain things in video games, and it just hit me a certain way at first. But I did go back, I did rewatch it to the end. I still don't understand what the hell I saw, but I will agree that it's very clean looking. And one thing I don't really understand why they did it this way is it's supposed to be like a monster collection kind of thing, like almost in a vein of a Pokemon. But I don't feel like they really conveyed that well in the trailer because I didn't really get that until after I read more. So they could have probably did better in that aspect. That probably would have gripped me a lot faster if I knew that this was all about going around and catching and collecting these things. Because that's all you had to say from the jump. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I like pets. And if you give me an MMO with a pet system, and I could do a little bit of crafting and stabbing with my blade and my mage stuff, yeah, I'm here. That's all you needed to do. But you didn't have to do all this mumbo jumbo with the umbrella and all this. Just tell me what I'm doing, bro. Just tell me what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And so the trailer was effective, but then not effective in my opinion. But I am definitely willing to give it a try when it comes out. I don't know if it's worth no $70. I don't know about that. It's pretty and all. I don't know if it's worth no goddamn $70. But if it's on Game Pass or if it's like reasonably priced, yeah,
We in
yeah,
there. We in there. Okay. Okay.
what's up with it?
Mhm.
That always be the weird games too, bro. Those are the ones that like you look at it at first, you're like, I don't know if I'm here for this. But then you play it a little bit, get a little bit deeper into it, like this is kind of fun. Like,
Mhm.
what's the game we've been playing, Manny? Oh my god.
I forgot the game.
Ah, what is it called?
Chaos.
Chris, it was a game that you wanted to play too. You wanted to stream it. It was like the way it was like marketed was like 4-person, like you could knock people off the edge or knock people off the sides.
Uh
Gang Beast.
Yes.
Gang
Wow.
Beasts, Gang Beasts.
Could not think of the name. Yeah, we've been playing that last couple of days, man. It's
Really?
fun.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Chris is like, oh, it's
Okay.
on me, huh?
Yeah, I'm about shit. I want to play shit. Game Beast is hilarious. That game is mad funny. More than anything else, it's a funny game.
But it's
People be
just so
talking mad
random.
shit.
It's so
Yeah.
random. Like,
Yeah.
you would have think that like
Random.
at first blush this would be like so fun, but it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, you'd hope that like these games like Decay V and I guess Cult of Lamb kind of looks like that too, but I'm not touching that one. I ain't
Nah,
here
got
for
the
no
wrong
demonic
guy.
stuff, bro. Nope.
Jonah
nope,
Hill,
nope.
Jeff, bro. We not fucking with that. Nah, nah.
Oh man, but let's get into the final game that we really wanted to talk about. Again, there's a lot of other games on here. Just kind of running down the list. You know, they had some updates for Splitgate. We got the new TMNT game, Super Monkey
Mhm.
Ball. They had some. They actually announced the open beta for Riders Republic, so that's pretty cool. We're probably gonna get to talk about that a little bit next week. What that new Jurassic World game? We got a Far Cry 6 trailer. Like a lot of stuff. But
Mhm.
we only have so much time, so the last game that I definitely want to talk about was the Outlast Trials. Now, I know we've talked a lot about horror games in the past. We've talked specifically about the possibility of co-op horror games, and this definitely seems to fit the bill. It's the continuation of the Outlast like series. Seems like they went back in time from the way that they represented it from a story standpoint. It's I think they said like the Soviets were like doing some testing that led to what that Outlast creature is. So
Mhm.
it seems like yeah, you're in this like test run or test trial thing where you're trying to stay alive, get away from all these different creatures, sneak around. And it seems like there's also this co-op element where you can help each other. I know in the trailer they showed that somebody was running away from a creature and had to jump, and the other like co-op player had to like help catch them. I'm very curious to see how they incorporate all these elements. I do think, Manny, we were talking about this. I do think Phasmophobia is kind of opening that door to say, okay, like people like to be scared with their friends. So if you can find some
Mhm.
horror games that incorporate co-op elements and actually still maintain the horror aspect, I think it's a pretty big deal. And this definitely looks like it's like right up
Mhm.
that alley. So again, go around the room one last time. Manny, what do you think about it?
Yeah, man. I mean, they even gave me like a little bit of Dead by Daylight vibes. Like, imagine if you like, even if it is just like a 2v1 type of situation where it's like you and your buddy are running away from like this mass murderer trying to chase you, pretty much. Like, it would be a pretty much like a dope competitive fun experience. Just
Mhm.
like the game, you know, I still never beat first or second one. They're scary. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sussy baka. Let's put it like that. But like if you had that other person, I'll definitely be able to play because it calms it down a bit, when you have somebody else getting scared with you. So I'm excited for a co-op Outlast experience. I feel like it was just something that, we've been wanting ever since Outlast blew up when it came out like in 2013, 2014. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to, take one of you guys with me and hopefully survive.
Facts. I always felt like it was kind of a co-op experience anyways, because the times that I had played that game, I remember the very first time I played it, I was playing with a
Mhm.
bunch of friends. Like we were all like
Yeah.
in my boy's basement and like we were just playing. Like everybody was just scared as shit. Like, oh fuck, like not much you could do because you can't fight back, so that makes it even more scary. So it's always
Mhm.
been kind of like a social experience, but finally being able to play with other people is really, really cool. But yeah, Chris, what about you, man? I know see you were shaking your head over there.
Yeah, nah, I'm shaking my head because he over here talking about some. Oh, I can't wait to get in there with one of y'all. If you're looking to me to motivate you to go through a door or some shit, Manny, I'm sorry, I am not your guy. I can't even go through the door, bro. So how the fuck I'm supposed to give you motivation to go through? It's gonna be two of us co-op and just standing in the doorway. So you go, no, you. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it's gonna be. A bunch of no you, because I ain't doing it. Dog, I turned evil within off within about 10 minutes. As soon as I got to that hellish place and I see them chopping that man up on the table, I said, nah, this ain't for me. Where's Bungie at, yo?
Oh my goodness.
Exactly what happened. I went straight, what? Man,
He
I
said,
said,
"Ain't
what,
stop
was
a
traveling
dude."
so fast? What? I was in that tower so fucking fast. I said, what up, bro? Shit, man. Yo, they was tripping over there in Bethesda, bro. I can't, nah, hell nah. Hell nah.
Went to the tower and straight
Yeah, shit.
emoted in this chair with the cat.
Fam, he straight yanked dude off the meat hook next to me, dragged him and started chopping him on the table. You want me to keep playing? Anywho, I'll give it a shot. If y'all really want to, I'm dead weight, but if y'all want me in there with y'all, I'm here.
Yeah. I
You
think
know
they
what I
said it's
mean?
up to 4 players, so I mean, yeah.
Oh, really? Well, hey, 3 and 1 limp leg is good. Uh, I will say this much though. When it comes to horror games, I do like horror games that are made with this kind of environment and lore and stuff. Because there's a lot of shit to uncover when it comes to these kind of insane asylums or testing facilities or whatever the case is. There's fucking journal entries. There's testing results. There's computer diary stuff. There's so much that you can uncover in these places, you know? So I'm thinking that this probably, will be the most in-depth one that they've come out with thus far in terms of just like how deep the background of it goes. Plus, I mean, come on, they're experimenting. You always want to know why they're experimenting. Who's calling the shots? What's their craziest experiment that they've had? Is it alive? Do we got to fight? Like, there's a lot of questions, bruh. A lot of questions. If I call outside, does anybody know I'm still here? Man, what year is it, bruh? Like, like there's this lot, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than the whole, cliche, we're in a forest somewhere. I'm trying to make it from one cabin to the next. That's awesome, but it's very done. We've done it a lot in a lot of games. So, I'm here for the insane asylum. I think that's always a good thing.
Imagine it's one of those things where it's like you're in an asylum and like every time you die, everything switches up, like Returnal, how everything just like you die, you spawn, everything's new, you got to find your way back through everything. That would be crazy if it's like that kind of experience with your boys.
I think that's going to come to some game at some point. It has to.
That would be a dope feature. Even if they don't have it, it should be an idea they should, maybe ponder in the future. We talking things that come to life over here in the X-Pack pod.
We do. True, bro.
True, bro.
Says bro. This, I mean, yeah, bro. You're right. We make it happen.
Fully remaster.
Rockstar is like,
Rockstar is the one. That's the one really, video game manifested shit for, bro.
Pressure test this, right? Let's see if we got it.
Rockstar don't love us.
Yeah, Rockstar don't care about nobody, bro. They don't care what nobody say. They can say we gonna make our own thing, and you gonna buy it anyways. Oh, they on some bullshit, but yeah, man. That's our recap of the Gamescom stuff so far. I don't think there's any events scheduled for Thursday. But if there are, we'll definitely get a chance to talk about it next week. But man, this is big. This is a big event, man. This is like all of E3 stuff rolled into one big ass event. Oh man, yeah, Geoff Keighley, he killed it, man. Good job, Geoff. But yeah, guys, anything else you guys want to add about any of the events we've seen in the last couple of days?
All I gotta say, it's a good gaming year. A lot of promising games, not only in the end of the year, but also beginning next year. So can't wait to dive in.
For sure.
For me, I ain't gonna hold you. Even though I am totally against this game, I do want to see like behind the scenes footage from this Cult of Lamb shit. I want to see the table room discussions about this game. I want to see the storyboarding. Show me where y'all came with this shit. I want to see it. I want to see these discussions. I want to know who's doing it, and I want to know who gave the okay. I want to know.
Devolver gave the okay.
Trying to give us this mess. Trying to give us this.
Devolver game.
The hell was that?
You think
why
they
is it a
care?
lamb?
Devolver don't give a shit, bro. They just making crazy shit.
Because of the sacrificial lamb. You see all these little things they do. Why is it like that? It could have been like a gopher.
Hey man,
Larry had a little lamb.
You know what we gotta do? We gotta work on getting some interviews out here. Maybe we could get Devolver up in here, get a little interview going. Chris can ask them all these questions.
First question, Devolver, what the fuck?
I think they would love that kind of interview.
They really would. They really would. Oh man, that would be fucking amazing.
Clip this, and cut it for TikTok, and tag them in it, bro. Let's see what happens.
Hey, let's see.
All you can see is Chris like, Devolver, what the fuck?
We want to interview you, and that's the first question we would like to ask. We've got a lot more, but first one.
Question number one. What the fuck? All right, guys. Let's wrap this up here. So before we get out of here, guys, Manny, start it off. Where can the people find you?
You already know, boys. You catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/GoodMasterFlex, on Instagram and Twitter, GoodMasterFlex_TTV, and the TikTok at No Context Gaming. Actually, it's GoodMasterFlex now. I changed the name to GoodMasterFlex.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Switch it up. All right.
I was
like it.
like, might as well be myself.
I stand behind that.
Respect it.
Because yeah, I like when it's all the same. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, what about you, man?
Well, you already know. Y'all motherfuckers know where the fucking find you boy at. MAY25THXX on everything.
All right. Word. Oh, yeah. Also, don't forget the pen pal. So, yeah, for me, ladies and gentlemen, it's Black Ice 8 pretty much everywhere. You already know Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. I'm also on Twitch. Been slacking a little bit, but hopefully we'll get that going at some point in time. But you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram at blackice8_gaming. Guys, thank you so much for watching and for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. The subscriptions definitely help us out big time. We'll check you guys out next week. Peace.
Hiya.